Okay, so let's unpack this. We are, I think, living through maybe the single biggest shift in education since, I don't know, the calculator, maybe even the printing press.
Oh, for sure.
And it all centers around this one massive tension that is just dominating every classroom, every boardroom, and honestly, probably a lot of dinner tables right now.
We're talking about the elephant in the room,
Yeah,
generative AI.
I am. And specifically, that big, scary question, is using something like ChatGPT just, a high-tech way to cheat?
Plagiarism with a better UI.
Right. Is it that? Or is it actually a tool for deeper thinking? Because right now it feels like we're just stuck in this binary argument.
It's very polarizing. You have one side screaming that the sky is falling,
Yeah.
that students will never learn to write again.
And the other side is saying this is the greatest productivity booster in history.
Exactly. But what's so fascinating here is that we're finally moving past the hot takes and getting some actual data. We have a study on the table today that suggests the answer isn't about the technology itself.
It's about the person.
It's about the person sitting in front of the keyboard.
Exactly. We are diving deep into a study published just recently, January 2025, in the Journal of Research on Technology and Education. It's by Jinhee Kim and a team of researchers, and they did something really, really clever.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't just ask students, hey, did you use AI? They essentially looked over their shoulders.
Right. They track the how. The study focuses on university students, and it looks at their prompt patterns. They wanted to see the actual conversation logs between the student and the machine.
And the whole premise is that not all chatting is created equal.
Not at all. And this is where it gets really interesting, because I think most of us assume that if two students have access to GPT-4, they have the same advantage.
Like giving two people the same calculator.
Right. But this study says, nope,
Mhm.
not even close.
So what did they find?
They divided the students into two distinct groups based on something they call AI literacy. You had the high AI literacy group, we can call them the HL group,
Yeah.
and the low AI literacy group, the LL group. And what they found was that these two groups were essentially using two different tools, even though they were logged into the exact same system.
And the mission for our deep dive today is to figure out what that difference actually looks like. Because it turns out the difference between treating AI as a search engine versus a collaborator is massive.
It changes everything. It changes the output, the grade, and maybe even how the student understands their own ideas.
So let's set the scene. Who are these students? Because context matters here, right?
It does, a lot. The participants were 19 international students at a Sino-British university in China.
Okay, so that's a crucial detail.
It is, because these are students preparing for English medium instruction. So they are writing academic essays in English, which for most of them is a second or third language. The stakes are very high.
So the pressure is on. This isn't just, write a poem for fun. This is write an essay that proves you can survive in a British university.
Precisely. It's a high cognitive load environment. And the researchers didn't just let them loose on the open web. They built this custom system called GPT-4WRT.
Okay, what is that?
Imagine a split screen. On one side, you have your notepad and your essay workspace. On the other side, you have a chat window powered by GPT-4.
And the secret sauce here is that this custom system recorded everything.
Everything. Every keystroke, every prompt, every backspace, every timestamp. They created what's essentially a black box recorder for the writing process.
That is the data goldmine. They could see exactly when a student asked for help, what they asked, and then what they did with the answer.
Mm-hmm.
But before any of that, they gave the students a survey to measure this AI literacy thing.
Right.
I want to clarify that because literacy usually means reading and writing.
Right.
What does AI literacy mean here? Is it knowing how to code?
No, not at all. It's based on a framework by Long and McGurko. It's not about coding in Python or anything like that. It's about understanding the nature of the beast. The high literacy students, they understood that AI needs specific data to work well. They got the difference between, say, strong and weak AI. They knew it wasn't a magic 8-ball.
They knew it was just guessing the next word based on probability?
Exactly. Whereas the low literacy students, they lacked that foundational understanding. They treated it more like a black box. You put a coin in, you get a prize out.
Got it. Okay, so we have our two groups, high literacy, the pros, and low literacy, the novices. They're both given an IELTS-style academic essay. Write 250 words, you have 90 minutes, go.
And this is where the divergence begins right away. Let's start with the low literacy group. When the researchers analyzed their chat logs using something called lag sequential analysis.
Whoa, wait, lag sequential analysis, that sounds intense.
It's just a fancy way of mapping the dance steps. If the student takes step A, what is likely to be step B?
Okay.
And they found a pattern with the low literacy group they called student-driven, but passive.
Passive, but they're the ones driving the conversation.
Passive in terms of cognitive engagement. The pattern was it was incredibly linear. They would ask a question, get an answer.
And that's it.
And that's it. Conversation over.
One and done.
Exactly. The researchers called it a search engine approach. They were treating ChatGPT like it was Google. The majority of their prompts fell into the bottom categories of Bloom's taxonomy.
Ah, Bloom's taxonomy. That's the pyramid of learning, right? With basic facts at the bottom and complex creation at the very top.
Correct. The low literacy students stayed right at the bottom. The study actually quotes some of their prompts. There were things like, what is VLE? Or explain VLE.
So define this term for me.
Yes. Pure information retrieval. They just wanted the definition. And once they got it, they stopped talking to the AI and went back to writing. Or they fell into what I call the check my work trap.
Oh, I'm definitely guilty of this one. Does this sound okay?
And that's fine in isolation. But for the low literacy group, it was their primary mode. Please check grammar and flow. Fix this sentence. They were using the AI as a spell checker on steroids.
So it sounds like they viewed the AI as utility, like a dictionary or a calculator. It's static. I ask, you give, I leave.
That's a perfect way to put it. And here's the kicker. When the AI gave an answer that wasn't perfect or was maybe a bit generic, the low literacy students tended to just give up on it.
Really?
Yeah, they'd say, well, this isn't helping, and they'd just go back to writing it themselves. They didn't try to fix the AI output. They just abandoned it.
They didn't know how to steer the ship.
No, they assumed the ship only went in one direction.
Okay, so that's the search engine approach. Now let's pivot to the high literacy group, the pros. What were they doing differently? Because they're using the exact same tool.
A completely different ballgame. Their interaction style was described as collaborative. If we go back to Bloom's taxonomy, while the LL group was stuck at remember and understand, the HL group was hanging out at the top of the pyramid. Analysis, synthesis, and evaluation.
Okay, give me an example. What does that even look like in a prompt? How do you synthesize with a chatbot?
Sure. So instead of asking, what is VLE?
The basic definition.
Right. A high literacy student asks something like, can you imagine what if VLE is applied to the context of a multilingual classroom?
Oh, wow. That's a totally different request. They're asking the AI to run a simulation, basically.
They are. They're asking for synthesis. They're taking two concepts, virtual learning environments and multilingual classrooms, and asking the AI to mash them together and see what happens.
And they didn't stop there, I'm guessing.
Not at all. They engaged in turn-taking.
The loop.
The loop. They would synthesize information, then ask the AI to create an outline based on that synthesis, and then, this is the key, they would evaluate that outline.
It critiqued the robot.
They did. If the AI went off track or if the tone was too robotic, they corrected it. They acted like a manager or an editor. One student actually said they realized their own initial ideas were naive after chatting with the AI.
So the AI actually pushed them to think harder?
Yes. It wasn't doing the thinking for them. It was sparking the thinking in them.
That's fascinating.
There's a beautiful example in the study about translation. A student wanted to express a specific Chinese idiom, Yi Jian Shang Diao.
Okay, you lost me there. What does that mean?
Roughly, one arrow, two vultures. Now, a low literacy student might have just typed, translate this, and the AI might have given a literal translation, which sounds really weird in English.
Right. I achieved one arrow, two vultures. Doesn't quite flow.
Exactly. But this student didn't just ask for a translation. They explained the concept to the AI. They typed. This signifies achieving two goals by doing only one task. Then they asked, is there an English expression similar to this?
And the AI said,
Kill two birds with one stone.
kill two birds with one stone. Perfect.
Right. But notice the process there. The student had to explain the nuance to get the right idiom. They had to teach the AI what they meant.
That is so cool. It's like they're treating the AI as a knowledgeable colleague, not an encyclopedia.
Exactly. And they gave context. The low literacy group was vague. Check this. The high literacy group said things like, make this paragraph a formal tone and critique any flow.
They were the directors of the movie.
They were the directors.
So we have the search engine users versus the collaborators. The big question is, did it matter? Did all this extra chatting actually result in a better essay?
It mattered. Big time.
Yeah.
When the experts graded these essays blindly, so they didn't know who was who,
Yeah.
the high literacy group scored significantly higher. The total difference was nearly 4 points, 3.95 to be exact. In academic grading, That is a massive gap.
That's the difference between a passing grade and a top-tier grade.
It is. And when you break it down, it's even more telling. The study looked at content, structure, and expression.
Let's unpack those. Content, that's the ideas, right?
Yes. The high literacy group scored 1.25 points higher on content. The experts noted that their essays had more depth and originality.
Wait, originality, but they used AI more.
This is the paradox people struggle with. Because they used the AI to brainstorm and debate, their final product was more original than the students who just tried to write it alone. They combined their human ideas with AI suggestions to create something new.
Okay, what about structure?
1 point higher. The high literacy students used the AI for metacognition. They planned the logic. They asked the AI, does this argument flow into the next one? Before they wrote a single paragraph, they built a blueprint.
While the low literacy students were just laying bricks.
Without checking if the wall was straight. And then for expression, a huge jump, 1.5 points higher.
Which goes back to the kill two birds with one stone example.
Exactly. They used the AI to find precise synonyms to improve sentence variety. They didn't just accept the AI's default robot voice. They used it to expand their own vocabulary.
So the key takeaway on the scoreboard is the low literacy students tried to delegate the work, fix this, write this, and got mediocre results. The high literacy students managed the AI, let's brainstorm, critique this, and got superior results.
Precisely. It challenges the entire narrative that AI makes students lazy. In this study, the students getting the best grades were cognitively engaging more, not less. They were debating the machine.
This brings us to the so what of the whole thing. What does this mean for us, whether we're students, teachers, or just, people trying to use these tools at work?
It brings us to a concept that researchers discuss called the ICAP framework. Interactive, constructive, active, passive.
ICAP. Okay, break it down.
The low literacy students were operating in the passive or active modes. Just receiving content, maybe highlighting it, that's low engagement. The high literacy students were in the interactive and constructive modes. They were co-creating.
Co-creating, that's the buzzword.
It is, but it's real. The interviews revealed something fascinating about what they call tacit versus explicit knowledge.
Okay, tacit versus explicit, that sounds like a philosophy class. Make it simple for me.
Okay, think of tacit knowledge as what's in your head.
Yeah.
Your gut feeling, your half-formed ideas. It's fuzzy. You know what you mean, but you haven't said it yet.
Like when I have a great idea for a joke, but I can't quite get the punchline right.
Exactly. To get the AI to help you, you have to turn that fuzzy tacit knowledge into explicit knowledge. You have to type it out clearly as an instruction. You have to say, I want to write a joke about a horse, but it needs to be ironic.
Oh, I see. So just the act of trying to explain to the AI what I want forces me to clarify what I actually think.
Exactly. You have to articulate your argument to the machine before the machine can help you improve it. That process, translating your thoughts into a prompt, is a learning process in itself.
That's a powerful reframing. We usually think of the prompt as just the input code, but you're saying the prompt is the thought process made visible.
Yes. And that's why prompt engineering isn't just a technical trick, it's a thinking skill. This study suggests we shouldn't just be teaching students how to cheat-proof an essay. We should be teaching them how to have a debate with the database.
It's the difference between asking a librarian where a book is and sitting down with a professor to discuss the book's themes.
That is a perfect analogy. The LL group saw a librarian just there to fetch things. The HL group saw a professor, someone to bounce ideas off of, someone to challenge them.
So if I'm listening to this and I want to be more like the high literacy group, what's the one change I should make?
Stop asking for answers. Start asking for feedback. Don't say, write this email. Say, here is what I want to convey, and here's the tone I need. Draft an outline, and then tell me what you think is missing.
Turn it into a conversation.
Turn it into a conversation. And don't trust the first answer. Push back. If the AI is vague, tell it, that's too vague. Give me a concrete example involving a multilingual classroom. Be the director, not the audience.
I love that. Be the director.
The study really proves that access to Gen AI isn't enough. We talk about the digital divide being about who has the internet. This suggests the data certainly suggests that. The gap is widening, not because the tools are different, but because the mindsets are different.
So we started this deep dive asking if AI is cheating or if it's a tool. And the answer seems to be, it depends on you.
It depends on your literacy. It depends on whether you are willing to do the hard work of collaboration.
Here is a final thought to chew on then. If the students who are collaborating with AI, using it to brainstorm, critique, restructure, are the ones getting the best grades. Does our definition of cheating need to change?
That's the big question.
Because right now, we test students on their ability to write alone in a quiet room. But if the future of work is managing a team of AI agents, maybe the skill of the future isn't writing the essay alone. Maybe the skill is managing the team that helps you write it.
If the final output is better, and the human understood the material better because they had to explain it to the AI, who exactly was cheated?
Something to think about the next time you open up that chat window. Are you asking for a fact, or are you starting a
Look at
conversation?
a conversation.
Thanks for diving in with us. We'll see you on the next one.